Hello, good afternoon. So, I have a story time. I would like to just go back in time and think about a relationship that I was in. Well, wasn't really a relationship, it was a situationship. It was also an abusive type of relationship, situationship, because this dude used to really put his hands on me. So, I'm gonna say my daughter was like around probably 6 6 years old, and I had got me a transfer apartment because I was living in an apartment that had 3 bedrooms, but I had to transfer to a 2 bedroom. So therefore, as soon as I moved in the same apartment complex on the north side of Houston in a town called Acres Home, there's a dude that's always on the porch. And this dude had been trying to shoot his shot at me. This dude had been trying to talk to me. And let me give him a name. I'm just going to say criminal. Yeah, criminal. Because he was known for breaking into people's houses. And, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. And I, didn't really want to think that was true about him. But it was, because later on, during me and his relationship, he broke into my house and stole from me. So, therefore, he used to always be on the porch. So it had been like 2 months had passed. And one day my sister would drop me and my daughter off. She had took us to make groceries. He was on the porch. He spoke and smiled at me and asked me could he get my number and all this. And then once I went to the car, because I know that I had a couch that I needed moved out of my apartment because I was getting new furniture soon. So my sister was like, since you and that young dude is trying to be friends, you should ask him if he wouldn't mind moving your couch and tell him you'll pay him a little something. And so at first it took me a minute to ask him, but then I finally did ask him. I didn't have to pay him anything to move this couch out of my apartment. He just did it. As time went by, me and this dude had started chopping it up, talking. We had decided that we were going to be so-called girlfriend and boyfriend. Now, this was a big mistake that I made because this dude was always on the porch. He was living with his sister at the time. This dude was always talking to other females. This dude was always doing the most. On top of that, he was known for stealing people's shit and breaking into people's houses. This was before I had found out that was what he was all about. So, besides the time when I had him to come in my apartment and move my couch out of my apartment and offered him a slice of cake and something to drink and stuff, he had started coming over regularly. One night, when my daughter had spent the night at one of my other sister's house, I went to his apartment and we hooked up. From there on, we started seeing each other, but it was very abusive. It was a very toxic situation because this dude used to really bully me. I had a motherfucking doorbell at the time. This doorbell was so annoying. So not only he would knock on the door, but he would ring that motherfucking doorbell about 30 times at 6 a.m. in the morning. So when I finally, because I had an upstairs in my apartment, when I finally got downstairs to open the door, he gonna say to me, "Why you took so long opening the motherfucking door?" I say, first of all, I was sleeping. I heard you ringing the doorbell and knocking, but you can only choose to do one. You didn't have to ring the doorbell and knock. You could have just knocked, or you could have just rung the doorbell. Choose one. And I told him I have a daughter that I have to get up early in the morning at 7 a.m. and take her and walk her to school. I be tired, and I don't, and he's like, but me and you are together, and I comes over here, so when I ring the doorbell and I knock, you supposed to hear it and open the door. I say, whatever. So, again, as time went by, he would be sitting on the porch with another dude, and he was always looking over at my apartment. He saw my sister and I bring a new flat screen TV into my house, into my apartment. So one day, I had just took my daughter to school. That was the very next day. I just walked my daughter to school. She was in elementary at this time. And then I walked back home. I get there. My door is wide open. And once I get to the top of the stairs to enter inside of my apartment, the new flat screen TV is gone. I calls the police and make a report and tell them that my house was broken into and the TV was stolen. Made a report. The whole time, the police asking me, do I know who did it? Of course I know who did it. It was him, but I didn't expose him. I didn't even tell him to his face that I knew it was him. But this motherfucker had the audacity to come to the house right after the police left and said, was I looking for him? And said the neighbors had said that they seen who broke in my house and took the TV, and they saw the police just leave. And I was just so embarrassed about this that happened to me a long time ago, because this dude had broken in my house more than once. Especially when me and him was on bad terms, and I decided that I wasn't no longer going to be fucking with him anymore because of the simple fact he keep doing things. Not only that, he's the same dude who I made a story time about a while ago when I said me and my next door neighbor were seeing the same guy, and the same guy that I was talking about was his fuck boy sorry ass. It was him. Criminal. So there's multiple parts to this story time because I dealt with this person for like over a year. There are times when I had, because my grandma, rest in peace to her, I miss her very much and I love her. But at the time she was living, I used to always pack up my shit and I used to ask my sisters or one of my neighbors, would they mind driving me and my daughter to my grandma's house, and I would stay over there for like 2 weeks because I would be trying to get away from him and the shit that he would do. That bullshit that he would do about ringing my motherfucking doorbell 30 times at 6 a.m. in the morning. and knocking at the door, and then once I get to the door, he gonna curse me out and act like he's about to punch me and knock me the fuck out. I had to deal with that for a year. Because no matter what I would tell him, like, I'm not about to run down the stairs and answer the door for you. I don't care. If you had been at the door early in the morning, just thinking about that just still bring back memories and it's pissing me off. Because honestly, when I got with him, I just used him as a rebound. I didn't really want to be with him, but I just wanted somebody to be with because me and Terrell had broke up and I was not over Terrell, and I was just trying to find someone as a rebound, and he was a rebound guy. But I'm going to finish the rest of this story later on after I cook. For now, there's about probably 5 more parts to this story, but I'm going to finish it later because I do have things to do. Until then, y'all stay blessed.